Listen, there's a sign she's thinking about you, and it's so counterintuitive, so backwards from what you'd expect that when I tell you what it is, you're going to think I'm lying, but I'm not. And the craziest part, she has no idea she's doing it. Her conscious mind would deny it, but her subconscious, it's screaming your name. And psychology has proven this pattern shows up in 73% of women who claim they're completely over someone. I'll reveal exactly what this sign is in just a moment, but first you need to understand why missing the next 60 seconds could cost you everything. Most men have no idea this sign even exists. They're too busy looking for the obvious signals, waiting for her to admit she misses them, hoping she'll come back on her own. But here's what's disturbing. While you're sitting there wondering if she thinks about you, she's already shown you the answer 3 times this week alone, and you didn't even notice by the time you finish this. Finish video, you'll know exactly what to watch for. The psychological breadcrumb that proves you're on her mind, even when she's trying to act like you're not. But I have to warn you, once you see this sign, you can't unsee it. You'll start noticing it everywhere in her behavior, in her friends' behavior, and you'll realize just how much power you actually have, even when you thought you had none. So, what is this strange sign, and why has no one told you about this before? Let's break it down. But before we do, hit that like button because what's coming next is going to change how you see attraction forever. The sign nobody talks about and why it's so twisted. Picture this. She hasn't texted you in days, maybe weeks. You're convinced she's moved on, that you're completely off her radar. Then, suddenly, out of nowhere, she does something small, something that seems random, something that makes absolutely no logical sense. She brings you up in conversation with mutual friends. She asks someone about you casually, like it's no big deal, or she shows up somewhere she knows you'll be. And when you see her, she acts surprised, like it's pure coincidence. Now, here's where it gets weird, and this is the part that's going to sound fake. But stay with me. According to a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, when someone casually asks about you through third parties, it's not casual at all. It's calculated, it's strategic, and it reveals something they would never admit out loud. She's gathering intel, she's checking in on you without checking in on you. And psychology calls this indirect monitoring behavior. But why? Why would she do this instead of just texting you directly? Because she's protecting her ego. She's testing the waters without risking rejection. She wants to know if you're thinking about her, if you're dating someone, if you've moved on without revealing that she cares. And here's the twisted part. The more she tries to hide it, the more obvious it becomes because people who truly don't care, they don't ask, they don't wonder, they don't engineer subtle ways to cross paths. But wait, there's more. And this is where it gets really strange. Keep watching. Because the next sign I'm about to reveal is even more shocking. The reverse reaction that proves you're winning. Now, here's something that's going to blow your mind. And honestly, when I first learned this, I thought the psychologist who told me was making it up. When a woman is truly over you, she's neutral. She doesn't care if you're around or not. She doesn't react. But when you live in her head, she does the opposite of what you'd expect. She avoids you in public. She acts cold when you're near. She pretends she didn't see you, or she overcompensates by being extra friendly, extra chatty, like she's trying too hard to prove she's unbothered. This is called reactivity, and it's one of the most reliable indicators that someone is emotionally invested because true indifference has no temperature. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's nothing, but if she's giving you anything hot or cold, congratulations. You're occupying real estate in her mind. Now, I know what you're thinking, but she's ignoring me. How is that a good sign? Here's why. And this is backed by behavioral psychology. The human brain uses more energy to actively ignore someone than it does to genuinely not care about them. Think about it. If you truly don't care about someone, you don't need to avoid them. You don't need to act a certain way around them. They just exist like a stranger. But when she's changing her behavior based on your presence, when she's consciously deciding how to act around you, that's mental real estate. That's you living rantry. And there's a third sign that's even more revealing, Stay with me because this one is going to make everything click. The friend network test, this one is almost too obvious. Okay. This next sign is so blatant, so in your face that once you see it, you'll wonder how you ever missed it. Her friends start acting different around you. They ask you questions about your dating life. They mention her name randomly. They tell you things about her that she never would have told you herself. Or they watch how you react when her name comes up. Here's what's really happening. She's using them as scouts, as information gatherers, as proxy communicators. Why? Because she's told them she's over you. But her behavior says otherwise, and they're protecting her from the pain of seeing you with someone else. The digital footprint. She thinks you'll never notice. All right, this is where it gets technical and slightly creepy, but it's real. She's watching you online. Not in an obvious way, not liking your posts, not commenting, not reacting, but she's there. How do you know? Her friends are liking your posts. She's viewing your stories, but not yours. Your mutual friends' stories, where you appear. She's checking your location tags. She's noticing what you post and when you post it. And here's the kicker. If you pay attention, you'll notice her behavior changes based on what you post. You post a picture with another woman, suddenly she posts something too. You post about being at a certain place. She shows up there next week. You go quiet for a few days. She resurfaces with a random message. This is called reactive posting, and it's a psychological response to perceived competition or absence. She's monitoring you because you matter, because your actions affect her emotional state, because she can't help but check if you're moving on without her. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this sounds like mind games. This sounds manipulative, but here's the truth, and this is important. Stay with me. Why this sign is actually about you, not her. Here's what most men get wrong. They think these signs mean she wants them back, that she's ready to commit, that everything's going to work out. Not necessarily. What these signs prove is that you've created impact, you've left an impression, you're memorable, you're not forgettable background noise. And that's the real power here, because when you understand this, you stop waiting for her validation. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. You stop putting your life on hold. Instead, you do something most men never do. You leverage your position, but here's the catch, and this is where 90% of men screw it up. Keep watching, because what I'm about to tell you next is critical. What you need to do next, the part most men get catastrophically wrong. So, if you've spotted these signs, here's what you absolutely cannot do. Don't bring it up. Don't confront her. Don't ask if she's been thinking about you. Don't text her saying, I heard you've been asking about me. Why? Because the moment you acknowledge it, you break the spell. You remove the mystery. You hand over all the power. Instead, here's the strategy, and it's counterintuitive as hell. First, do nothing. Let the signs keep showing up. Let her keep wondering. Let her friends keep asking. Don't react. Don't change your behavior. Stay the course. Second, escalate your life. And I mean visibly. She needs to see that you're thriving, that your life is full, that other people value your time and attention, not because you're trying to make her jealous, but because you're genuinely building something worth having. Post moments that show growth, confidence, new experiences, new people, not for her, for you, but if she happens to see it through her indirect monitoring, even better. Third, when she does reach out, and she will control the right frame. Don't be cold, don't be petty, but don't be overly available either. Respond, but on your timeline. Be warm, but brief. Show her you're happy to hear from her, but your world doesn't revolve around her. Fourth, create scarcity. Make your time valuable. Make your attention something she has to earn, not something you freely give, because attention that costs nothing has no value. And finally, here's the most important part, the part that separates boys from men. Keep watching, because this is the real secret, the psychological truth behind it all. This is where it all comes together. Here's what psychology tells us, and this is going to reframe everything. The human brain is wired to focus on what's missing, not what's present. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished business stays in our mind. Loose ends bother us. And when someone suddenly removes themselves from our life, our brain treats it like an unresolved chapter. She'll catch herself thinking about you at random moments in the shower, during a boring meeting, right before she falls asleep. And the more she tries to stop thinking about you, the more she'll think about you. This is called ironic process theory, the white bear phenomenon. Tell yourself not to think about a white bear, and suddenly that's all you can think about. That's why disappearing works better than chasing. That's why silence is more powerful than words. That's why mystery beats transparency every single time. But here's what no one tells you. And this is the part that's going to save you from wasting years of your life. These signs only matter if you want her back. If you're using them to validate yourself, to feel powerful, to play games you've already lost, the real power is knowing you've made an impact and then choosing what to do with that information. Maybe you reach out, maybe you don't. Maybe you've already moved on. And these signs are just confirmation that you made the right choice. Because when you become the man she can't figure out, the man she can't predict, the man she can't forget, you're not just living in her head. You're living in your own power. And that's worth more than any relationship. Final words. Don't skip this. I know this isn't easy. When you care about someone, every instinct tells you to do more, to say more, to prove more. But attraction doesn't work that way. It's not about effort. It's about impact. It's not about how much you give. It's about how much she notices when you stop giving. So if you want to live in her head, Rantry, stop trying to force your way in. Create the conditions where she invites you in herself, where she's the one wondering, the one asking, the one who can't let go. That's when you know you've mastered this, not because she told you, but because her behavior proved it. Now, here's my question for you. Have you noticed any of these signs? Are you seeing the indirect monitoring, the friend involvement, the reactive behavior? Drop a comment with the word impact if this opened your eyes to something you've been missing, and smash that subscribe button, because next week I'm revealing the one sentence you can say that will make her stop everything and actually reach out to you first. You won't want to miss.